I had to look at you so.
Okay, tonight's special night. I got my two sisters here, Margie and Jean, and they're going to sing a great song, and it's called Back in the Hills. Okay, ladies, whenever you're ready, go ahead, please.
Way back in the hills, when a boy I once wondered, very deep in the grave lies the dear one I love. She was called from this earth, a jewel in heaven, more precious than diamonds, more precious than gold. A jewel here on earth, a jewel in heaven. She'll brighten the kingdom around God's great throne. May the angels have peace, God bless her in heaven. She's broken my heart and she's led me to wrong. When a girl was 16, we courted each other. She promised someday she'd become my sweet wife. I bought her the ring to wear on her finger, but the angels, they called her to heaven one night. May the angels have peace, God bless her in heaven. For she's broken my heart and she's led me to wrong. A jewel here on earth, a jewel in heaven. She'll brighten the kingdom around God's great throne. May the angels have peace, God bless her in heaven. She's broken my heart and she's led me to wrong. A jewel here on earth, a jewel in heaven. She'll brighten the kingdom around God's great throne. May the angels have peace, God bless her in heaven. For she's broken my heart and she's led me to wrong. I think that's all of it. That's all of it too. That's all I know of it.
Thank you, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody, it's Margie and Jean, and tonight's March the 8th, and we're sitting around talking about Kentucky, talking about some songs that we know, and answering some questions here. What do you guys think about your move from Kentucky to Indiana? Was that a good thing, looking back, or would you rather be in Kentucky?
Who? Kentucky? I'd like to be back in Kentucky, Mike.
And why would that be?
Huh?
Why?
Just for a little while. I wouldn't want to live down there again. I don't think.
Well, how long would you stay if somebody put you in a car and took you down there?
Oh, I might go and stay all day.
So it doesn't sound much like Kentucky's the place to be.
No, I think I'd rather live in Indiana.
Margie, what about you?
I love Kentucky.
But would you want to live there right now?
Yeah, right now I would.
Why is that?
Because things are so different up here.
But things are so different in Kentucky.
I don't think so.
Okay. If you were to go back to Kentucky, where would you want to live?
No, I would love to live down there where I come from. Down in Upton, Kentucky.
Okay. Is that down there by Allendale, or where was that?
No.
Down there by Magnolia?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice place. How about you, Gene?
Well, I guess if I was to live back in Kentucky, I would want to live in LaRue County. I was born and raised in Greene County, but then we moved to LaRue County, and I lived there.
So you kind of like living closer to a town.
Yeah, I'd rather live in LaRue County, I think.
What about you, Margie? You used to live in LaRue County. Did you like LaRue County or Greene County better?
I like Greene County better.
Okay. That's where a lot of the relatives were from, right?
Yeah.
If you think about some of the people that you've known in your life, who's a real famous person, Margie, that you remember that you thought was a very smart individual?
I don't really know. I'd say, I guess, my grandpa.
Which grandpa?
Grandpa St. Owens.
Okay, and since none of us know much about him, what did you like about that guy?
He was just a loving, kind person, I thought. I really liked him.
Okay. Well, how about your grandma?
My grandma, his wife, she died real young. I don't know about her, but I loved Grandma Thompson.
Yeah, she was a nice lady, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gene, did you know Mom's dad and his wife,
Well,
which was your grandma? Grandpa?
I can remember my grandpa Shadowing. Yeah, he was old man, and he was sick in the bed when I was a little girl. But I can remember him a little bit. I remember I used to go by his bed when he was eating, and I'd want him to give me a piece of his pie or bite of something he was eating. And he'd say, "Get away from here, you old pig, you." He'd call me old pig. Just a kidding. Yeah, he was just teasing me and kidding me, you know. Want me to leave him alone.
Okay. Was
He give you a little old lamp called
Yeah,
Jimbo. Give me a little lamp called Jimbo, and Maureen broke it. One day, Mom had it in the trunk with her things, and one day we was in the trunk looking around. Mom was, and me and her was in there, and Maureen was there too. Maureen was a little boy, and he picked up little Jimbo and broke it. He dropped it and broke it.
accidentally?
Yeah, accidentally.
Well, knowing your grandpa there, Mom's dad, did you see any thing about him that you seen in your mom?
Well,
Was your mom like her dad?
a lot like him, didn't you think, Virgie?
Yeah.
Like how?
I thought she was. She talked a lot like him, I thought. I thought Mom sounded like Papa did.
We all called him Papa.
Yeah.
So did he talk to you guys individually? Or were you too little and he didn't have much to say to you?
Well, I was little.
How little? How old were you?
Oh, shoot. I was just a little girl. About 2 or 3 years old, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about 2 or 3 years old when he was living. When he
Okay.
died.
So when you knew
He
him,
was probably about 3.
where did they live when you first got to know him?
Up there in Greene County.
It's Stones.
It's Stones' place.
C.B. Stones.
There's a lot of those places not even here no more.
Yeah.
C.B.'s house, it's still up there, but somebody else owns it.
Okay, how do you remember your times when you were teenagers? Like today, you got cars that can take you places and everything. How'd you get around when you was teenagers? There probably wasn't a whole lot of cars, were they? Or did you guys have a car? Or how did you get around?
I just went with my brothers when I went any place. And I'd go with Bart and him when they'd go out.
We didn't have no car. I always, whenever I went in, where's Uncle Ruby? Aunt Mary's husband would come after me. He said I was his favorite one. And
So-
Bernardo was a baby. Whenever I was with him, with Aunt Mary and Uncle Ruby, at Nellie and Thomas Milby's, and when she was born, Uncle Ruby come to the creek, and the creek was up, and he hollered for us, said, "You got a new baby sister, Mardio." So that just tickled me to death, and that was Veneta. And he took me home, and him and Aunt Marie went up there in an old Model A, and had them plastic curtains down, on the side. It was a two-seater. He drove that up there. Took me home. Up there at Grandpa's, that old house that sat down there? That's where she's born at.
Well, Mom's sister and them, they must have been pretty close to one another. Sounds like. Since that was Mom's sister's husband coming over to pick you guys up, they must have got along pretty good.
Yeah, they did. Mom and Aunt Mary and them got along good.
I know when we'd go over to see Aunt Mary sometimes, her girls would be out on the porch singing country songs, church songs, and everything. Seemed like that's what they did about every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit out singing songs. Did you guys ever hear them?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, that would have been.
I don't know whether she has or not.
That would have probably been Brenda, right?
Yeah.
Brenda and
Rita Phyllis.
Rita Phyllis. Yeah. Does Brenda still call you G?
Yeah, but I've not heard from her this week. Because I've been over here at Margie's and she ain't called me over here.
She don't call me.
But she calls me when I'm at Phil's.
Did she say anything about her brother that passed away?
Bobby Lee,
No, I don't think she...
she didn't say anything.
Oh, she might have said something, but I don't remember about what she
She
said.
don't call me. She talks to Benita.
I don't remember what she said, if she did.
It was pretty bad weather
Yeah.
right when he was having his funeral.
Yep.
It was real cold outside.
Yeah.
It's a shame we didn't get to spend more time together
Yeah.
with our relatives in Kentucky.
Yeah.
So, as far as your husband's, Margie Lucian, does he seem like he felt it was better to move up here than to continue staying in Kentucky?
Well, he would have stayed in Kentucky, but he had an ulcer of the stomach. So it was bothering him down there, and the doctors told him he had to quit that farming. So then he moved up here. And then he kept getting worse, his stomach did, and he had to have an operation. He went to the Veterans Hospital and had an operation.
Was that up here?
Yeah.
Okay, Gene, how about Red? Do you think Red felt better about moving up here
Oh,
to try
yes.
and make a living than staying in Kentucky trying to make a living?
I think Red liked it better up here. When he come up here and got him a job, he done better. He felt better working.
Red was a diabetic.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you both something here. Both of your husbands were a veteran. I'll go with Margie first. Was you married to Luke, or did you know Luke when he went into the military? Or
No,
after he got out of the military?
it was after he got out. He'd been out a while.
So back in those days, he didn't join the Army, did he? Did they call him into the service?
I don't remember, but I think they called him in.
That's what most of them do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Gene. Now Red was in the Army too, and do you remember if they called him in or did he join?
No, they called him.
That was the usual way back then, that they would
Yeah.
call you and then you report to the military. Okay. And I know Red went to Germany. Did Lucian go overseas, Margie?
No.
Okay. Well, at least they both wore the uniform,
Yeah.
and they were to be congratulated for being in the military. That was a great thing, for your country. Still is. And so that's something to be proud of, both of you. Okay, now each one of you had children, and would you say it was harder, Margie, to bring your children up here in Indiana compared to Kentucky? Or was it about the same, or what?
It was a lot easier up here to have kids than it was in Kentucky.
Gene, how about you? What do you think?
Yes, I think it was easier in Indiana to raise kids than it was in Kentucky.
Why is that?
Well, there's more jobs up here for people to work at to make a living to raise them kids. If we hadn't moved up here in Indiana and Red got that job, got his job, we couldn't. I don't know how we would have made it in Kentucky because there was no work down there for him. He couldn't find a job no place.
Well, I'll say one thing. Both of the men were really good at what they did for a living. They worked hard, just like you two as housewives and raising children. You two also worked extra hard. And that's just about as hard a job, even today, than you can get away from your house, is raising a family, keeping up with your home, paying your bills and all this other stuff. It's a lot of work. And,
It is.
Sure is.
And people today, they're so fast on the go. I got to go do this, I got to do that. I don't think they have as much equal time to raise those kids today because of the prices and everything. Everybody's out there hustling to get around and get a whole lot of things done instead of having a lot of time to spend with their kids. But I believe you two did a great job with your kids. And it's too bad that a lot of families today ain't got that kind of time.
Yeah.
But I know we only had one daughter, and that was Carrie. And I told myself, I said, the way that I'm going to do this so that I make sure I have plenty of time to spend with Carrie, I'm going to work nights. And I'm still working nights. And so by doing that, that allowed Karen to go to work every day. And it allowed Karen to spend all night with Carrie on homework and everything else. And it allowed me in the daytime to go to school. I went to Ivy Tech for 2 years, And all the way through 12 years of school, I knew all Carrie's teachers. I went to school and met all of them. I let them know who I was. I wanted to know what they were doing in school. And I think I kind of brought some doubt to some of them, like maybe they thought that I thought they wasn't doing a good job of teaching Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I just want to see what goes on at this school.
Yeah.
And I had them show me a lot of things that they use to help kids learn how to read better, everything. And so I think these dads and moms today still have to get involved with these kids.
Yeah, I always think so too, the way things is today.
Because let's look at it today, as you're talking about. If we don't spend any time with the kids, what happens? You turn on the TV, and the kids went to school, they had a gun, and they shot 4 or 5 of their fellow students. Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Even some kids as early as 7 years old, going to the 1st grade.
Yep.
And did you hear on TV tonight what happened here in Indiana?
No, I don't think I did.
About a 45-year-old preacher was up in front of the church reading out the Bible. And guy comes in, he walks right down the center hallway there. And they're not quite sure what the preacher said to him, but this preacher said something to greet him. He pulls out a gun and shot the preacher about 3 times.
Did you mind?
And the 3rd bullet hit the Bible that the preacher had open, and so it just tore the paper out like it was confetti.
Big good.
And some people wrestled him to the ground, and I guess he might have had a knife or something anyway. A couple of them got cut, but he's in the hospital tonight. They're waiting to question him to find out what's going on. But for right now, they're not sure who the guy was, and they don't believe that the
Did he
preacher
kill
knew
the-
who he was.
Did the preacher die?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I've enjoyed tonight, and we're going to have to get together again and do some more singing and talking. So have you had fun?
Oh yes, we had a great time, Mike.
Now how much do I owe you for this?
Oh, just whatever you want. Thanks.
Okay, I'll send you a check tomorrow.
All right, you do that.
Thanks a lot. See you. Have a
Okay,
great
Mike.
week. Have a great week next week. See you.
I hope,
Bye.
You too, Mike.
I hope we do.
And bye-bye.
Say bye to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.